All right, so I've replaced that switch with a new smart one, another Lutron, and this will solve the switch problem with this door. Everybody noticed, I pointed out, but also a lot of people commented, the switch is on the wrong side of the door. Last two people that rented this room were fine with it. They just kind of dealt with it. It's obnoxious, but whatever. But the cool thing is that the Lutron offers standalone switches that can control those switches. And so this is just a little flat thing, and it doesn't need any power, doesn't need any wires running to it. The battery's supposed to last something dumb, silly, like 10 years or whatever. So I'm gonna take one of these cut-in boxes. It's not a full box, it's just for low voltage stuff. I'm gonna mount that to the wall, then I'll mount that remote to this, and it'll just look silly like there's two switches there. But basically that one will control that one. It'll be more natural. You can just walk in, hit the switch, and do your thing. That should work out significantly better than that thing being behind the door. So I got a laser level set up. It's hitting the bottom screw on there, and it's that should give me the same height over here if I don't drop stuff. If I just get that bottom screw on that line, this should match up just perfect. And there's a stud there, and I don't remember if it's on this side or that side of it. So this should be a pretty safe distance away that I should hit nothing when I go through there with the saw. All right, so here we go. It's installed. It's at the same height as the other one. All looks like it belongs there. It's slightly goofy with the second switch, but it works great. So just a slight lag behind versus using that one. And that's probably from bouncing up to the hub upstairs and back down here. But I think it's one of those things that a nerdy ass person like me would notice it, but I don't think it's something another person would notice. I went ahead and added one to this room as well. And we already had one in bedroom 3 up here, but I went ahead and added one to my bedroom, bedroom 4. And I replaced the old box that was here. And it was mounted, you can maybe see this little piece of metal here. It was actually mounted, the metal was screwed into or nailed into the wood, and then it came out to around here, and then the box was there. So it was actually floating in the middle of this. And it's kind of a wonky setup. And I think that's actually relatively normal in various places in this house. So it took a little bit of work. I should have recorded it, but it took quite a bit of work to get the grinder in here to cut that box out. But we got the switch in. You can kind of see a little bit of the hole, but it's no big deal. This room is one of them. It's got to get torn out and redone. It kind of acts a little bit funky with the fluorescent lights, but it works. I got to see if there's a way to maybe have it come instant on versus fading in and out. I don't know if that's possible. I gotta poke around in the software a little bit, but it works. It works well. I added a Pico remote, it's just like the other one down there, except this one doesn't have all the wall accessories. I added one of those to my room, and in theory, I should be able to hit that switch and also turn off the lamps. I should be able to do that all in one switch. So we'll find out. And the reason I ordered two is really because of an error. I didn't quite understand that the listing for the remote that I put in the other room, it looked like it was just the wall mount for it. And it turned out it was the wall mount and the remote. So I'd ordered a second remote, a remote to go into the wall mount and didn't need it. So I figured I'd add it to my room. See if the dream is real and I can control multiple systems with a single switch from one of those systems. All right, so we're gonna add the same lights that are in the kitchen over here to the dining room. I'm gonna actually put them on the same circuit because ultimately I think this is just gonna be one big kitchen. So anyways, I've got the boxes mounted up here and they're just little boxes. The power goes in one side, out the other, blah, blah, blah. And then the little white cable actually goes to the LED itself. So I've got them mounted where they need to be mounted to hit where I want them to hit on the ceiling. And these ones that I can run without having to drill anything have already been run, and I've already preset some of these. So now the next step is to just grab the drill and start popping holes through there so I can get these directions go. Basically, as we learned in the previous video, it comes up from the switch, up the wall, and there's a joint right there, so roughly right about where that writing is. And then it's gonna come basically tee off. One side will go over there, one side will come over here, so they hit this one, that one, that one, that one, that one, that one. And then if for any reason I decide that's not enough light, well, that shouldn't be a problem. But if it is, I can add another row down the middle if it's not enough. But 6 should be way more than enough here. And I didn't go too far into this corner because, like I said before, I want to just put cabinets there. And I think that about covers that. So I'm going to put the phone down and start drilling some holes and then wire up all this, and hopefully it all works just fine. So here we go. It's all working. Plenty of light here. The spacing isn't perfect to match that, but the whole thing's in the way. I got 2 more, so that when it comes time to actually gut this whole room, I will have more. And I'm just going to label that box and it'll go on the shelf and sit around and wait. But in the meantime, until the drywall's up, I just clipped the actual lights onto the power lines. I need to grab some staples, staple these into place. Definitely that one. All right, so here we are up in the blue bathroom, and I'm going to replace this switch and box with a new box and switch. And I think I'm just going to eliminate this one in the hallway that goes to that light since it doesn't work right now. And then I'm just going to give that constant power from this box so that that light works. It works on a motion sensor down at the bottom of the stairs, and it hasn't worked since for several weeks now, since I disabled the circuits running through the ceiling here and had to move all that. So what I don't know, this is a three-way switch here, and the other switch for it is down at the bottom of the stairs. So that was back before it was a smart light. This line runs down to that switch. I have no guarantee that there's no power on this. There shouldn't be, because the circuit in the bathroom is on, and that's the nearest circuit to this one, and the light doesn't work. So in theory, I should be able to cut right through that. But instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this out. I'm going to eliminate this because it just goes to there. And then I'm going to pop this out, and I'm going to test to see if there's any power here. If there's not, I can just cut that down there and it can be good and we don't have to worry about it. If there is power, I'll have to pop out the other switch down at the bottom of the stairs and cap it off, and then close back up the thing, put a blank wall plate on there and call it good. So we'll hope for the best, put a new box here and see what we get. All right, so I pulled this box out, and you can see the power originally came into this box. Now it jumps over to here. So the good news is there's no power over here. So I don't have to worry about doing all that. Didn't need to bring the tester up. So I can continue to cut away. I will just cut this flush with the box, and I'll mount the new box just a little bit higher so it can pop in there. And at some point, I will replace this. I need to get some 10 gauge. Everything I have right now is 12 gauge. I need to get some 10 gauge for little nicky stuff like this. But yeah, on to that. All right, so this is how I'm going to leave this for now, just these, and then I can connect the other end to the electrical box and get light again. But in the future, this will obviously control lights in this room, and then it'll also jump out and go to outlets. But for now, all I was doing is powering that one light, and then I can expand as I need to. I got this, and now I have another light down there to do a similar thing with, and I'll explain that in a second. All right, so this is the new circuit labeled dining room, and basically it needs to power up everything along here. It's not going to do the lights, obviously, those are already done. Although it would be easy to move them if I wanted to. It would be incredibly easy. Anyways, this box doesn't work anymore, so I can remove it. This line runs over to the switch that controls that light, and now that light no longer works. There's also, coming out of the box, this comes down and into this outlet box, and then there's two lines that run back this way. And this is a switch. So one of them is for the lights under here, which again haven't worked since I cut the kitchen power. And the other one is here. I don't know what it's hooked up to at the moment. Obviously it's got no power. I've already cut it off. So I don't know where that goes. I'm tempted to open up this section of the wall and see where everything goes that way. I'll probably I mean, I'm gonna put a new box in here. I might just, I don't know. Got to remove a bunch of stuff and figure out the deal with the light in the hallway. That's the goal today. Let's get some lights working. All right, so now I got two circuits that are going to the wrong rooms. I got the one going from the bathroom into the hallway, but that's okay. It's just the one light. This one is now going, it's actually the dining room circuit, but it's just powering on those lights. It's not hooked up to the other side of the box, but this is a mess. I'm kind of glad I pulled this out, but it turns out I got to rebuild this whole corner. Shocking, I know. Just more termite damage and whatnot. It's just amazing. But there were these two more circuits running up to that wall. There were another three that I cut and I shortened to just kind of get out of here. And they come over this way into the ceiling over here. So I just gotta like one by one pull them out. It's gonna be hard because of the venting and stuff here. It basically uses the joist bays as vents. return vents for the HVAC. So I don't want to pull that sheet metal down yet. So if I can, I'll pull those out. When I originally installed these, the junction was just kind of hanging out in space. Now it's actually in a box like it's supposed to be. I can pull these. But my next project today is to fix a mistake I made when running all of these lines. You can see they run under this gas line. So I'm gonna pull them one by one from the box, reroute them up over the gas line, and then something I can do is staple them. I don't know if I'll do that today, but staple them up. And with those two circuits complete, I need to run one more circuit for the living room. And then I should be able to actually make those circuits live, and we should be good to go. All right, so we got 5 new circuits in. Make sure the labels are facing out, just outside of the box so you can read them. Some of the cables are running a little bit long. That's because I don't know what changes I'm gonna make and if I'm gonna reorder. I'm probably gonna put these breakers in a different order so they're in groups that make sense, like bedrooms next to each other, stuff like that. So that's what we got going on here. Everything's lit up. I need to run one more circuit. And that will go to the grand room. It'll be easy to run now because that floor and ceiling is open. Whereas later on it will be significantly harder to run. So what I'm gonna do is follow the same path we've been following, but instead of going along there, we're gonna turn and go this way. And I don't know exactly where I wanna turn and go out. Wherever it is, like on one hand, it makes sense to do it here because that'll be the corner of the room. That makes the most sense. And the reason I'm gonna do it this way is because this room was added on to the house. sometime in the 60s, I believe. And instead of tearing everything up to run lines out here, they ran conduit from here into that room. That's that conduit right there. So EMT conduit there, and the other one underneath. The bottom one is gas, the top one is electrical. And we currently have a leak when it rains coming down from the conduit because there's a hole in the side of the house to make the conduit go through. You may remember from an old video, one of the original ones, maybe the first month or two, how I taped up that plastic to keep the water from landing on the washer. And it just kind of stays up against the wall as it drips in. That's because that's where that conduit comes through. The angled one is the gas, the top one, the silver coming out of it, is the electrical. And that, I'm assuming, makes it all the way back to the breaker box. So I need to run 1 or 2 circuits out to that room. And then we're kind of set. But we got this fixed up. It's all going over the top now. And regardless of how many run, I need to, after it's done, I need to staple all that up so it's nice and secure. Same over here. I kind of did a cheating thing here. There's actually a 3-inch screw holding that corner up. So I need to staple all this and do it properly. Okay, so what I've done is I've ran another new circuit. This one is going to be for the living room, so this will be the jumping off point for everything that way. And also it's doing this light here, which is on that motion sensor, just like the one at the top of the stairs that we did earlier. Now this was a little tricky because this was a 3-way switch, and I didn't want to tear up all of that to get to the wiring. Like, I'm not ready to tear up that drywall yet. This is the other part of the 3-way. So ultimately, what I did is I just picked 2 random wires, connected them together, flipped the switch, and the first time the circuit breaker blew. Second time, I changed to a different 2 wires, flipped the switch, light came on, we're good. So I've capped off this wire. It's a neutral, I probably don't actually have to cap it off, but I did it anyway. And these 2 are connected, and these 2 connected make that work. So I can tuck these back in, and we can just put a blank wall plate over this, and we're good to go. This circuit is grounded from the switch back to the breaker, not grounded the rest of the way, but that's okay. And now I think I'm done working in this wall for a while, so I can throw that sheet of drywall back up, and need to patch this little hole up. I couldn't put the box here because of the depth. The gas pipe is in the way. I thought about throwing a chunk of wood here. That requires going out, getting the saw, doing all that stuff. This is a switch that's meant to just stay on most of the time, and this is not a final drywall set up for this wall. I'm sure I'll tear it out when it comes time to do this living room. So it's okay to move this over here. It looks oddly low, but it feels about right as you come by the stairs. So I can throw a cover back over that, throw the drywall back up, and we're good to go for a while. I've got a lot of extra. This is a 250-foot roll, and I got quite a bit of extra. We got the dangling bit from the grand room. There's currently 2 lines running out to that room, and I haven't decided if I want to run 2 again or just keep it to this one. Next week I'm going to start on the roof. Re-shingle that roof. And I think after that, I'm going to tackle electrical in this room and just gut everything that is terminating down here in the basement. Furnace, all that stuff, washer and dryer. There's that bad outlet on the outside of the wall. I need to pull that out. A very long time ago when I tore these shelves out, there's an outlet mount of the shelves. That wire is actually hot. And I've just kind of letting it hang out there for the last year. So I just need to remove all of that, and then just rewire this thing from scratch. There's not a lot that needs to be added right now. It's mostly just lights. There's not much for outlets. There's one here, there's one over there, but there's not a whole lot going on. So I think I'm okay to just rip most of it out and just start from scratch. So I think that'll be coming sooner than later. And but first is the roof. Here, it makes no sense. These 2 connected, those lights work, disconnect them, lights don't work. Light switch is there, lights are over there. I have no idea why this power is running over here. So I need to pull that back through. I need to pull these back through to remove them. A long time ago when I first did these lights, there was no junction box here. I added one here, I just need to put a blank over it. And this will get removed. That big mess underneath these lights will get removed. So I think that might be where we're done for the week. I think it's going to be a shorter video this week. But next up is an exciting roof project. So stay tuned for that.